we'll start here. And first, I want to thank you all for coming.
Yes.
And the reason that Ton and I do this is, first and foremost, because the artists we involve in it. Everyone in this show is people we admire and really love their work. Some of them we knew before, a lot of them we didn't, and it's really fun for us to get to know people. And it's really kind of a passion project for us, more of a labor of love than anything else. It's just a great opportunity to show off all the people that their work we really love, and it's really nice to meet them. And I think what we'll do is turn it over to the artists that are here so they can talk about their work, and feel free to ask any questions to the artists when they talk. And,
Yep.
do you have anything?
Nope.
Okay. So, thanks so much for coming. And I thought, Christina, we would start with you, the dress piece.
Okay. A couple of you have already heard my story already, but this is Nest. It's all paper, except for the wire part on the top that holds it up. I made this piece in a hotel room in Berlin. I had the idea, I was on my way there to do an installation, and I had this paper in my suitcase, and I thought about this image on the way. And so when I got there, took one of my pieces that I had already shipped over a couple weeks before and recast over that a little bit, and worked with the paper and came out with this piece. I love working with paper. Paper is pretty much inspired by the idea that it is something that is both delicate and strong. It's a lot like skin. Skin holds all your bones, all your gush together, and paper is the same way. It has a lifespan as well, so it isn't going to last forever.
Well, you had talked about, when you said skin, when we visited you, that was really interesting, those cicada skins.
Tarantula.
Tarantula, that's right.
Yeah, I had a pet tarantula named Zach. And Zach molted, and I didn't know anything about tarantulas at the time. I didn't have internet at the time. And so when the spider molted, it left behind its skin, and it looked like there was another spider in there. And so it looked like a hollow twin, and I liked this idea of leaving behind a remnant of something that's lived before. There's a story in that. It's like a print of something, a vessel that contained a story, a life. And I get that same feeling when I'm working with paper, the dresses in particular, the birds, definitely inspired by Zach and the molting.
Great.
Thanks.
So, and how do you ship a thing like that?
That delicate.
A lot of bubble wrap, saran wrap, I just kind of make sure that whatever needs to hold its form, like the torso or the bottom half, I stuff it, and then I wrap it in the saran wrap just to make sure that it all stays together. I tuck the birds inside, and then I ship it in a crate. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I've got 2 crates in my studio that's, ready to go. I store a lot of stuff in there as well. And they always make it okay. It gets to the gallery and hang it up, and sometimes I'll sit there with a blow dryer or something to heat it a little bit to kind of refluff things up. But again, paper is just amazing. If it rips, you just take a little bit of glue, put your finger on it, hold it for a little while, and it's fixed. So, yeah.
You were telling me that story about how you described in detail to the gallery how to hang some of your pieces.
Oh, yeah.
Could you tell them about it? Because I thought that was pretty...
How to do that? I'd sent a dress that had a lot of components to it. It had about 36 paper birds, each with a glass teardrop shape thing hanging from its mouth. The dress was really big, much bigger, like the bottom skirt was much bigger than this, a lot more delicate, and it was supposed to hang from a gold branch, so I spent a lot of time drawing diagrams of something that would take me 20 minutes to put together. Spent a lot of time trying to write like how to put this dress, how to hang it up or whatever. So, oh, forget it. I bought a ticket to London and flew out there. Showed up at the gallery. They were just taking it out of the crate. I'm like, hey. They're like, oh, thank goodness.
I think we had a similar experience here because I thought I knew what I was doing.
I said to him, it's like, hey, you want me to swing by? Yes, no.
Yeah, absolutely.
I grabbed the dress.
And one thing, even though it's paper, and I
Yeah.
know that, I'm shocked at how light it is. Like
It's-
moving it, it's so. Is that part of the concept as well? Just how like it sort of floats.
It just floats up. It's ephemeral. It's the birds, the dress, all made of the same material. It's a light thing, and we're just kind of carrying it up in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, I wanted to feel light and airy. I used a paper that was open and nest-like itself. From where the birds kind of nest in the dress and this kind of comfort thing. And then the shoes I cast over a pair of shoes I brought with me for that art opening, and I used the same shoes, so it's two red shoes. And again, they're just kind of being carried up in a way.
Oh, it's really beautiful.
Thank you.
The relationship of the birds, the dress, and the shoes, it suggests a sort of a moment in perhaps a sort of metaphysical event. And I remember reading Sandman back in the 80s, Neil Gaiman's famous series, and some of the sort of encounters with another dimension or another world. Sometimes a frame would have a quality a little bit like this, where it was leaving the sort of concrete narrative of the street and going somewhere else. And I think so many sculptors, especially at the New York Academy where I teach, they're thinking of like a single object and they're trying to imply a narrative in that single object. But what's interesting about this is that I feel it shares something. And I guess you guys were thinking about that when you were putting the show together, right?
Yeah.
That there maybe is a connection there, that you're activating the three-dimensional space narratively in ways that might be a little different than a lot of sculptors,
Yeah, absolutely. And there's something I don't know about, I could be way off base, but the birds on it sort of remind me of like Sleeping Beauty or whatever that. Was that Sleeping Beauty? Which one was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like in the dress,
Right.
That. Was that it? Was that a part of your thinking at all? Maybe not.
Definitely fairy tale
Yeah.
seeped in there. It has a very fairy tale kind of feeling. I think it's a good point about making art and entering a different dimension. Making the process of making art is very much like that. You're stepping out of reality and seeing things from a different perspective. And so, stepping into this kind of fairy tale-ish kind of imagery, that would make sense. That entered in there, but I was working with birds a lot as kind of like something that triggers just movement, moving on, moving forward, leaving. So it adds, I guess, psychologically, just another element that triggers movement. Something animated. The dress looks like it's kind of frozen. The ripples in the fabric, it's kind of frozen in time. So the birds lifting it up and everything would kind of put that in your head.
And that's sort of like the tarantula too, like moving on.
Yeah. So it's a kind of like, psychological transition.
I have a question that kind of relates to that, but there's some aging quality to it. Now, how do you address color? Like, did it start white and is it turning yellowish? And it feels like it's yellow at the bottom. Is that part of the process?
It's cream colored. paper, it's definitely turning. I noticed that too. I have a skylight in my studio, and the sun kind of hits it for a while, and I love that. I love the change. I'm definitely interested in seeing how my paper pieces age. Definitely something that I think about with my work. One of the reasons why I work with paper, again, it has a lifespan. It changes. The birds that I sent to London, I actually used a paper that had gold. It was like a gold-colored paper. They oxidized on the way back, so they went there gold. They returned to me green, and I thought that was really cool. So that is definitely something that will happen over time that I'm excited about.
And interesting how it happens in different areas.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
I actually have a question.
Sure.
I was wondering how much you consider the effect of the shadow play in relationship with the sculpture, because I feel like that has a lot to do with what's happening in the space.
Absolutely. I mean, it adds depth. It makes it feel alive, feel real. If you put too much light, which I've learned with these guys with trying to light the piece, it's a little tricky sometimes. It's different in different spaces as well. So too much light will just flatten it out, and it loses its magic. It's pretty to look at, but it just kind of loses the life that it has on its own. When I hang it in my studio, I'll shoot maybe one light on it, just very dramatic, so it kind of changes. But
Is that it?
no, I missed it out. Yeah, it's definitely something I think about. I mean, I work between like life-size, in-a-room installation stuff. I like to make a room feel intimate. I feel like this makes things feel intimate to me. And then my smaller pieces, I like to take things like my paper skull dioramas and make you look inside and then have that small space become expansive. So I love hopping in between the two different worlds.
Cool. So, thank you so much, Chris.